One thing that isn't being talked about is the rampant voter suppression in this country. Those kids were waiting 3 hours in line to vote in Michigan.
But just to be clear, you're saying that you think voters didn't get to vote that wanted to vote in Michigan?
Absolutely. You know, obviously there's also more that we need to do in terms of turning out youth voters. But when you do turn out, you should not be waiting 3, 4, 7 hours in order to vote.
Last
and that
thing,
causes people
you're
to
working.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on special report last night with our own Bret Baier, suggesting that voter suppression is what cost Bernie Sanders the win in Michigan. Karl Rove is a former White House Deputy Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush. He's also a Fox News contributor. Karl, good morning to you.
Morning. How are you?
So, I'm very well, thank you. So what did you think of that reasoning for Bernie Sanders' loss in that important state?
Well, let's let the numbers speak for themselves. Joe Biden got 838,564 votes. Bernie Sanders got 576,914 in Michigan. That means there was a gap between the two men of 261,648. Every degree-serving student in every school in Michigan, there are 450,000 of them. Now, a bunch of those students already turned out. The exit polls say 16% of the turnout were people between the ages of 18 to 29, and they broke for Bernie Sanders with 76% of the vote. That's about 193,000 to 61,000 for Joe Biden. So it's just impossible that the only reason that Bernie Sanders lost in Michigan was that that they had polling places in Washtenaw County, which is what she was referring to, the University of Michigan, that caused students to stand in line. It just doesn't make sense. May I make one other point?
Sure.
She goes around, and a lot of other Democrats going around, tossing this voter suppression charge at Republicans, saying this is all a dirty trick by the Republicans. Well, you know, in Michigan, the city council and the mayor set the polling places. The city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, I checked this morning, city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, the mayor is a guy named Christopher Taylor, Democrat. There are 5 wards with 2 council members each. Of those 10 council members, 9 are Democrats and 1 is an independent. There is not a single Republican involved in setting the polling places in the University of Michigan. So if she's got a problem with election officials not getting enough votes out, enough polling places out for the students, go complain to her fellow Democrats. We had the same situation in Texas, where Texas Southern University students had to wait as many as 7 hours at this historically black university. And guess what? The county judge, the county executive, we call them judges in Texas, is Lina Hidalgo, a Democrat. And the tax assessor collector, who's in charge of the elections process, is Mark Sullivan, a Democrat. So, you know, maybe she's right that some students didn't vote, but it is not the, you know, the 300,000 plus that or 261,000 plus that was the difference between Bernie winning and Bernie losing.
Well, here I had a full screen already, and you brought the whiteboard this morning, Karl. Well, it was great to have her come on the network last night. She talked about that, but she also talked about a lot of other things about the demographics that Bernie Sanders was able to court. Of course, those younger voters, you look at the numbers, he did get the majority of them, 69%. And you look at the older voters that voted in Michigan, Joe Biden garnering obviously the most, 69%. But can Joe Biden court some of those Bernie Sanders voters? That becomes a big question. Here's the headline in The Guardian, Karl. Bernie or bust. The Sanders fans who will never vote for Biden. Supporters distrust the Democratic Party and are frustrated with an election system they say works against their candidate. So can he court some of those voters?
Well, he better, because in the exit polls, only 2 out of 5 Bernie Sanders supporters in Michigan said that they would support the Democratic ticket in the fall. 60% were murky on the question. And that's a big number. That is a very big number. We do know that in 2016, on the low end, 7 to 8%. On the high end, Brian Schaffner at Tufts suggests it's as high as 12% of Bernie Sanders supporters voted for Donald Trump in the general election. That is far more than his winning margin in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, the number of Democratic primary voters who turned around and voted for Donald Trump. Think about this. Donald Trump won Michigan by 11,000 votes. Bernie Sanders got, 300 some odd thousand votes. If even 10% of them, or it should be 500,000 votes, even if 10% of them said, I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump, that would be basically 5 times Trump's winning margin in the state in 2016.
As usual, we appreciate your analysis, Karl. We've got some breaking news. Thank you. We'll see you soon.